Welcome to this video on how to use the Case Data Editor to define what information you want to record as part of each of your cases. In the candidate management application we are using here, cases are where you process individual candidates. Data is required by end users to work with cases. Before you use the data editor, you should have some idea of the data that will form part of your case. Here you are deciding what you should record for a job applicant. Let's introduce you to Vicky, who is the application designer, and Liam, who is the end user. For each piece of information that end users work with, you need to create a data field. You do this by creating a data definition. Use the data editor to add and edit fields in your case data definition. You can make one data field your case identifier. This is a data type which allows your application users to identify the case using a single value that is placed in this field. Let's make the candidate name the case identifier here. Now let's add some data fields. You name and define the field before applying any restrictions to the way end users can work with it. You can add and change data in the data editor at any time, and you don't need to save changes. That happens automatically as you go along. Each data field can be shown to users for entry or display of data that they want to record for the case. They can also be used to record automatically calculated values. Use the Definition tab to define things about the field, including its name, type, and whether it is required or optional. Use the Restrictions tab to define the values that can be used for the field, such as only accepting a recruitment fee with a maximum value of £1,000. You can organise data fields into logical groups called data types. Data types can be reused in multiple places where you want to record the same information for different purposes. For example, you could create a data type called address that contains individual address data fields, and then use the address data type to represent recruitment agency address and candidate address. To do this, first create your data type. Add the fields that you want to record data for each time you use your data type. Using the address data type example, you would create the fields that make up an address, for example, address line 1, 2, and postcode. Finally, add a field in your case data that uses the address type you just created, for example, the recruitment agency address. We are using the data type again for a different purpose. The order of the fields here affects the order in which they are displayed to users by default, so drag and drop them into the order you want. Now you can test your application to see how data fields and data types will appear to Liam, your end user, when he views data in Case Manager. Thank you for watching this video.